Here are 3 ways to reprogram yourself for success in a very short period of time. First things first, I'm going to tell you what not to do. Stop consuming garbage. Cut out the media, cut out TV, cut out news. The last one there is probably the worst one you can consume. News is just full of fear, it's full of anxiety, it's just full of uncertainty. If you ever look at the headlines, it's just giving you little hits of uncertainty, of almost putting you in a place of discomfort. Like, oh, what's going on in the world? What's doing this and that? You want to stay away from that. The 3 things that you can start consuming to reprogram yourself for success are these 3 things. The first thing you want to do is start listening to audiobooks. Audiobooks are the best way to just plug in some headphones and start reprogramming your mind in the best way possible. So what I started doing is the first audiobook I listened to was about a year ago. It was called Atomic Habits by James Clear. As soon as I plugged in the headphones and listened to that, it was like my mind just started downloading all these successful habits. It's obviously listening is one thing, then doing it, right? But the first thing you gotta do is you gotta consume. You gotta consume, and then you apply that, and then you get the results from it. The second thing you want to do is start reading books. Like, think about a book, right? Like 10 years, 20 years, decades, if not like sometimes lifetimes of wisdom plugged into like a couple hundred pages. There's a book called Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. The power of proximity he talks about in this. He was given a task to interview some of the richest men in the world and figure out how they think, what they do, and how they became so rich. By default, he became a very rich man, even though he didn't go into writing that book in order to become rich. That wasn't even his end goal. It was just to gather data and figure out what these guys are doing to amass such amounts of wealth. And while he was writing the book, he became rich. So reading books like that, man, it's like 25 years he dedicated his life to creating that book, and you can pick it up and read it in 3 weeks, and all that wisdom, all that information is going to penetrate your mind, and you're going to start thinking like those people. You're going to start thinking like some of the richest men in history. Last thing is you're going to listen to podcasts. This is super awesome because I've been doing this as well. Every time I'm cooking, or even when I'm in the shower, or when I'm driving, I just plug in and start playing some content in long form. It could be one of your favorite influencers talking on a podcast, speaking on a podcast. It could be another audiobook. But what happens with podcasts is it's very casual, it's very, very informal, and people are just talking about their opinions. And if you start listening to people that you're genuinely interested of, and they have the results that you want, right? This might be different for you. For me, it's going to be like more on the long sides of creating wealth and taking care of your health and self-improvement, self-development this time. That's what I'm going to be listening to. And that's the data that I want to put in my mind. So what you want to look at is inputs in equals outputs. What you put into your mind, what you put in, what kind of information you're consuming is what you're going to create from. So what you look around now is people are consuming complete garbage, right? Mentally, physically, spiritually. The results are an exact tangent to that. So you have to be aware of what you're consuming. So take a pen to paper, sit down and think about what you've been watching, think about what you've been listening to, think about what kind of content you've been consuming. I'm an advocate of long form content because of how less stimulating it is compared to short form content. You can sit there for hours and scroll through like TikTok and you won't really learn anything. For the long form content, it's like you have to sit there like you're watching this video for like 5, 10, 15 minutes, 20 minutes straight, and it takes a level of discipline compared to just scrolling on IG for hit of dopamine. So start doing these 3 things: audiobooks, start listening to podcasts, and start reading books. And this is going to start reprogramming your mind, yourself for success, and it's going to act like a sponge and almost as a soap for the that's been in your mind that's not helping you. And this is a big thing that's helped me. I want to make more videos of this, like what's helped me in terms of my self-development journey. Let me know what you think of this video. Love.